Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future home buyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of home ownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Westbrook down lane, blocked by Randall. Julius Randall with an excellent defensive play.
Joel battling in the paint, laying it up and in.
Gone time. Oh, wrap it up.
Thompson just the 2 points. Nifty dribbling. Oh, exploding to the rim.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Posting Up Podcast. We're back. I know it's been I know we've been AWOL, but I mean, stuff came up. I mean, and it sucks, but I mean, we're back. Western Conference, Eastern Conference Finals going on right now, Zay. And last night, the Warriors put it on. I mean, 109 to 100, 3-0 lead. Can Luka will the Mavericks back into this series, Zay?
Not alone. Man's averaging 35 points and they still can't get the job done. That's a tough, it's a tough task for anyone to ask him to go now and average 50 points to go out and get the job done. He's going to need help. He's going to need Brunson to be that Brunson that he was in the first round, that Brunson that like a player that is going to get a lot of money this upcoming summer from some team, hopefully, if the Mavs don't re-sign him. So that's what they need. They need players to step up. Reggie Bullock can't be 0 for 8 or whatever he was last. That was just it's unacceptable on a team that, doesn't have much firepower outside of Luka. I mean, their offense is basically Luka. So he needs these role players to be, basically on all the time. And if they're not on, they won't get the job done. Luka's a great player, but he's not going to get 60 points tonight against this Golden State Warriors team and will them back. He's not that great of a player. He's a great player, but he's not. I don't even know if LeBron could do that. That's a tall task. It's actually to average 60. That the bump is averaged almost 50, 60 points in this series.
I don't think he has to do that, Zay. But, I mean, you talk about LeBron. I think a reason why LeBron, you've seen LeBron in similar situations get through it. It's because LeBron is – I feel like Luka, with him being as young as he is and him being in the position he is, I think there's times you see him force it and make it – or not necessarily force it, but, like, just put it all on his shoulders. There's times where he isn't necessarily looking to get other people going. He's just looking for his own shot. And I think –
no trust. He doesn't trust them. You can see it. There's no trust there.
I get that too, but you also have to build trust. Like you have to be able to go in these situations and say, hey, okay, I know I'm averaging these 40. I'm score every time I've scored 40, we've lost in these playoffs. Maybe that isn't what I need to bump up the assist more. You have to be able to do that. And I think right now it's just him. He has that killer mentality. Like a guy like Kobe. If Kobe was on his own team the whole time, he would put up some great numbers. But would he necessarily win? He had to have that guy like Shaq there to be all like, hey, I kind of know. He had to build that. But I think Luka's really young. He doesn't have that guy to like build off of and go. I think a guy like Brunson. I think if Luka said, okay, we're at a good spot, I don't necessarily we don't when they're up a little bit or at times just like get Brunson going a little bit more rather than him taking a bunch more shots. I think that's the real issue. But I mean, granted, Luka's doing everything. Luka, I say he needs to up his assists. The last series he had more assists than Chris Paul. So I mean, granted, Chris Paul. I mean, but still, I mean, in that series against the Suns. I'm harping on Luka a little bit, but let's not. In that series against the Suns, he outscored the scorer of the Suns, Devin Booker. He out-rebounded the rebounder on the Suns in DeAndre Ayton. Pretty damn good. Out-assisted the facilitator of the Suns in Chris Paul, and he out-stole. He got more steals than a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Mikal Bridges. Now, I don't want to discredit anything Luka's done, but when you're doing this, you don't need to do this much to win. You just need to do this much in the key spots.
You're overlooking the issue they have is they have a similar issue to what the Grizzlies have. Their star player doesn't have chemistry with the role players. When the star player, that's really what it comes down to. When Luka missed sometimes, we've seen the bench and we've seen role players like Jalen Brunson and all these other players show up and become players that, you know, like I said, who look like they're going to get money this summer. That's what it needs. That's the big issue. There's no chemistry. We've seen it with the 76ers. You can have a bunch, and even the Nets, you can have a bunch of superstars on the team, but if there's no chemistry there with your superstars and your role players, you won't be able to get over the next hump. That's what Golden State has. Golden State has a good mix of role players and veterans who know how to play well together. That's really what they have. It's not superior coaching. It comes down to the play on the court and the players on the court. Once Luka learns how to move and play with his teammates, then, you know, things will start to move better. But Luka has no trust in his teammates right now. So there's no chemistry. They look bad. They're out of sync.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't see how they could win this series, honestly. I think it's going to be a 4-0 sweep. I don't even – maybe a gentleman's sweep if they will one out, you know, tomorrow. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a sweep.
Yeah, I think I can see a gentleman's sweep, like you said, but chemistry. You're talking about chemistry. That's an issue. I think really the Mavs exceeded expectations as is right now. No one expect them to get to where they are right now. So kudos to them. I think this is now you're down 3-0. I hate to say I know none of the players are thinking this, but like. You got to start looking forward, you know? And I think this could be, I mean, talk about chemistry issues. This needs to be a pivotal movement. Them knowing what they're capable of. This is them being capable. This is what they're capable of with all these chemistry issues, with the problems with getting other people going. If they can just figure that, if Luka can go, hey, okay, now – I have a little bit more trust in Brunson. When I'm struggling here, I can give it to Brunson. I know Brunson will take that shot. Just something as small as that. Luka knowing definitively, hey, I know I have this guy I can trust. Something like that is what can take this team to the finals. That small adjustment, and I think with them exceeding us, I trust Jason Kidd. He's done a great job coaching this whole series. I think that's honestly probably one of the biggest reasons why they're here. But I expect him to come in, and I expect even bigger leaps and bounds. I think this is a team that we'll see. come off hot in the regular season, but I think this is where the buck stops. You have to take this as a learning experience, go back, take the offseason, think about this, because this is going to be on your mind. A guy like Luka with that killer mentality, that guy who wants to be great, this is going to be in the back of his mind all offseason.
Wait. Let's not be too
drive you.
Let's not be too drastic. I mean, we know this is basketball, this is sports, this is the greatest theater on TV that you can't write this stuff. We could see a team for the first time come back from 3-0. We don't know. They could even tie the series and make it a game. We don't know. So I don't want to necessarily, just write them off. I think I shouldn't have put that earlier when I said it was going to be a sweep. I shouldn't have. Like you said, these players are actually playing. They're not thinking sweep. So again, like I said, after hearing what you said, I'm not too far. I don't know. Maybe they could pull out another win or two. I don't know. Maybe there's still a chance, bro.
There is still a chance.
I'm listening to how everything we're saying. I'm like, maybe there's still a chance.
Listen, Zay. Chances are if you want to go by chances, the odds are in the favor that next week we're talking about the finals, and
I know
the Warriors won the finals rather than No,
I'm looking. His comment. I think it's pop, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know if they do it. It'd be amazing. This is something, but I do think they could force a game 7. I don't honestly think they could win it. Honestly, that's crazy talk, but I do think at least they could force a game 7. I don't want to write them off just yet. I want to take back my last statement. I don't want to write them off just yet.
Okay, all right. I'm with Risser here. I think they're not coming back. I think the gentleman's sweep is the best they can do, and Sander, Dallas this offseason is going to pull off something to bring another superstar like Luka with Luka. Just can't be Luka, a bunch of C-grade players. They need at least a B on the team. Well, I get that, but also I think I think Luka has an ability to make people a lot better. He has that facilitating ability, and I think right now, in times like this, in these pressure situations, in the playoffs where he really, really wants to win, to him it isn't necessarily about facilitating. It's about getting his shot and scoring. I think that's going to be that's the real issue for the Mavs here. So if he can, but something like that facilitating stuff, that's just going to come with it. That's just going to come over time and experience. And Luka's still really, really young, and to be able to do this with the Mavs, to get them where they are now, even though they're down 3-0, that's a big, big accomplishment. So while we're talking a lot of bad about the Mavs, you got to be good here. Like you got to the Western Conference Finals. No one besides Mavs fans thought that was going to happen, and you did it. So this is a win for the Mavs, and who knows? I would love for next week us to be back talking about me being wrong. I will happily be wrong in that instance, and us talking about like a game 7 or the Mavs going to the finals. That would be amazing.
It would be great, but honestly, I think we're spending way too much time on this game because we got an Eastern Conference game that's about to start.
Yeah, we do got to get going because that is about to start, and we're gonna. But first, before we get to that, let's hear a word from one of our sponsors.
There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
Shout out to Shamrock Home Inspections, new sponsor. Make sure you check them out if you're in the housing market and you need a second opinion on the house. Get inspected. But now let's get into our game break to start off the game that's about to go on. Best bets. Zay, do you have anything from this game coming up tonight that you put your money on?
Whew. All right. Now, I owe state of Massachusetts an apology. I mean, everyone, all the Boston fans. I have written Boston off really, really early this year, and they have proved me wrong every step of the way. I will say this, though. I will say, depending on Marcus Smart's availability in the series will really shape the outcome of the series. I had the Boston Celtics winning this series from the beginning because I just think Miami, to me, they're not tough enough of a team. I feel like I went back and watched that Bucks and Celtics series, and that was a real like wrestling slobber knocker match of a series. And I feel like Miami wouldn't have been able to tough something out like that. Outside of Jimmy Butler, I don't think anybody else is really tough on that team. I think, they've got some guys out there that can shoot, but they don't got, bang them up tough, rough, and tough guys. You know what I'm saying? Even Bam Adebayo to me isn't a rough and tough type of guy. So I think the Celtics can honestly still pull the series off. I do think Marcus Smart is a huge part of that. He's a huge anchor on offense. He's a huge anchor on defense for them. You see what they had all the question marks about Tatum and Brown not being able to work together. We've talked about this numerous times on the show, how they should blow it apart. And Ime Udoka has proven us completely wrong, and he's found a way to make it work. It just seemed like they needed a coach to figure it out for them. And they seem to get it done every round this series, no matter who they were going up against. And I think they'll do it again. So I got the Celtics winning this series. If you're going to put money on anyone, take the Celtics to win this series. Yeah, I do. As much as people want to see the Heat and they're running for the Heat, I just think the Celtics, there's something about them this year. They're playing really well. I had them written off. Honestly, I didn't even have them making the playoffs at one point, and then they shot all the way to the number one seed from, I think, 12th at one point in the season. They was really down. They was in the bottom of the standings with the Knicks and the Hawks, and they shot all the way up to number one. So kudos to them. So I'm not going against them now.
I've talked a lot of crap about the Celtics, and I'll eat my words. They play great. The thing here with me, I just think I like the Heat more. I think you talked about Marcus Smart. He's obviously a big factor, but I think the biggest factor for the Celtics is Time Lord Robert Williams. I think him being able to slow down Bam on the glass, being able to slow him down a little bit. I mean, defensively as well. I think him, and also having I think Bam is also very, very dangerous defensively when he can, because he has that ability to get up there on the wings and the guards and guard them as well. If you have a guy like Robert Williams, I think you need to put more. That's why I think a guy like Bam struggled against the Sixers, because he had to focus on Joel Embiid a little bit more. He couldn't switch off as easily. And I think Robert Williams, while he isn't Joel Embiid, he still does have. It is in the. I think Bam still has to focus on him. So I think Robert Williams is the big key for the Celtics. But I like the Celtics. They've overachieved. They're great. I think this is like the Mavs. This is a solid point. This is a solid building block to build off of. But it is a building block. This is just the first step. Like you said, a whole new coach. But they got here. That's great. They got better. We talked about the chemistry issues at the beginning of the season. There have been zero chemistry issues since All-Star break. So they're heading in the right direction. But I think this is really, for me, this is the Heat's redemption year. I mean, obviously, we all know what happened in the bubble. And then last year was a big flop. I think this is them coming, redeeming themselves. So I'm going to go Jimmy Butler, Eric Spoelstra, and Bam Adebayo to get it done. I think the Celtics win tonight. That's going to be my best bet. I'm going to parlay the Celtics to win tonight, but I am also going to take Bam Adebayo over rebounds. I'm going to parlay that together. Make yourself some money with that. So give me the Celtics tonight. I think this is going to end in 6, though. I got the Heat winning it in 6. So you said you said you have the Celtics, but
just answer your phone. Just answer your phone. I think it's gonna take 7. Honestly, I'm not gonna disrespect the Heat and Jimmy Butler. I think it'll take 7 to get it done, but I think they will get it done. I honestly do. Something about the Celtics team. Again, I've written them off months ago.
Yeah. It should be. This is. I mean, we talked a lot about the last series, but this is the most exciting series.
From a competition standpoint, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to watch Luka and Curry go up against each other. I'd rather watch that, if I'm being honest. But from a competition standpoint, that is a better series because one feels one-sided, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, competition standpoint. But yeah, it should be interesting. I think tonight's gonna be a real big. Like if the Celtics come out, I have the Celtics winning tonight. But if it's a close one, then I'm a lot more confident on the Heat getting it done.
Heat? Did he say my Heat?
I was gonna say my prediction, but then I messed it up. My prediction for the Heat getting it done.
You jumping ship like your boy Donovan Mitchell?
No, I'm not. He's not jumping ship. Enough. But if the Celtics do blow them out, then I'm sweating. I think the Celtics, right? I will still say it was at Boston if they blow them out, so I'll still favor the Heat, but I'll still be sweating. If the Celtics blow them out tonight, that's going to go from a 6-game Heat win to me to a 7-game Heat win. Then I'll start even sweating more if it's – I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I think – so right now you have the Warriors and Celts in the finals.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Just Golden State has a 3-0. I'd be insane to take the Mavs. I'd really be insane at this point. At this point, I would have to keep me off a podcast if I took the Mavs.
I don't even think
if I took the Mavs and they didn't win, then I'm insane. If they won it, then I'm a genius. See how that works?
Yeah,
I'm the greatest on the.
Yeah, sometimes what I say on throwing jabs. There's a long shot. I go, hey, I don't got the pride. I can look stupid, so I'll take it. Or I'll look like a genius next week. I'll take those chances.
Punches chance don't win 3 times in a row.
Yeah, very, very true. I mean, yeah. But okay, should be interesting. I'm excited. I mean, Jimmy Butler's been playing great. I know he left the game early last time. I expect him to continue to roll. And I mean, this has been the big question with the Heat and these playoffs. But do you see Jimmy Butler as a superstar right now?
I have to say, yeah. I mean, he's carried his team to a championship. He's won a championship regardless of where. Oh, excuse me. They lost, or they got to the championship. I think that alone in itself speaks for itself. Getting to the championship is a feat in the NBA. The fact that I keep explaining to people, the fact that LeBron has been there that many times in a row is a tremendous feat. No one has done that ever before, because just getting to the playoffs is a hill climb itself in the 82-game series. And so to make it to the playoff, to make it to the make it to the finals, I would have to assume, yeah, he averages above 25 a game. He's a leading scorer. His team looks for him when they need him in crunch time at the end of the game. To me, that is a superstar player. I don't know, like, he checks all the boxes for me. I don't see why he wouldn't be.
I'm with you. I mean, I know that this question has been thrown out a lot. The real answer to him not being is him playing on a bunch of different teams, but I don't.
That means nothing.
That means, I mean, look at how. Everyone talks how there's no loyalty in the NBA that now anyway. So I mean, what does playing on a couple different teams really even matter?
That's so silly, because there was a point where it wasn't really a free agency. So a lot of these players were basically had no choice but to stay with the teams they were with. So it wasn't like that where free agency is now, where basically players are setting their own price and going wherever the hell they want. It wasn't like that back in the days. So the people have to really stop comparing them to the old game. It's a completely different system, completely different franchise. Completely everything is different. Stop comparing them.
Yeah, you're right. But I think bottom line right now in today's league, Jimmy Butler is a superstar, 100%. But all right, speaking of superstars, let's talk about a little bit of moving on from the playoffs. We're going to talk about the MVP. A lot of controversy with this. Nikola Jokic winning his Nikola. I don't know why I put 9 in there. Jokic wins his second consecutive MVP. But Zay, did the Joker deserve it?
Based on stats, yes. And I have to take issue with that because I feel then he should have given maybe offensive player of the year. And they should create an award like that where they give it to a player who's offensively. I feel the definition of MVP is most valuable player to your team. Meaning your team cannot function properly and thrive as well without you on the court. Meaning you are a key piece. If the Nuggets were healthy and Nikola Jokic were to go down, I honestly feel like the Nuggets could still keep it rolling because they do have other players on that team. For me, I feel Joel Embiid is the MVP because we've seen, even with a superstar like James Harden, with Ben Simmons, without Joel Embiid there, that team absolutely struggles completely. We've seen them drop numerous spots in standings when Joel Embiid isn't there, and then when he is there, they jump right back up in those standings. He, to me, is the MVP because he's the most valuable player to the team. But according to how the award went out, it is Jokic. He outdid him in rebounding and assists because Embiid is more of a down low guy. He's not really a huge assist guy. We know Jokic is a freak. What he does, his talents to pass, the way he's able to pass the ball as a big man, that's not natural. Not all big men can do that. So, that's a kudos to him, and it one-ups him in that category. So, based on how they went on it and they looked at it based on category, he's their MVP. But for me, the MVP was Joel Embiid, and this sucks to say this as a Knicks fan. I don't even think Nick in the MVP conversation.
Yeah. I mean, Julius Randle was in it for like 2 weeks last year.
Come on, bro. Why are you doing this?
I'm with you. I mean, this is where instances like this, like we need an actual definition for most valuable player.
You don't need a definition. The definition is in the name of the award. Most valuable player. It's not most.
Exactly, but what does that mean, though, Zay? What does that mean?
You're the most valuable player to your team. That means your team values you at utmost. They need you. Without you, they don't function properly. They don't win.
Okay. All right. With that saying,
they're mediocre.
With that being said, this year's Nuggets, without Jokic, do they get to the playoffs?
Yes.
Yes.
Possibly.
Even with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr.
Get into a play-in. I think they at least get into a play-in.
In the West?
I'm gonna realize the West really sloppy. The Knicks would have been in the play-in in the West. The West didn't have a strong standing this year.
Yeah. Okay.
So I could see them at least getting to a play-in. I don't think the 76ers without Embiid. No, I don't. No. The East was a dog.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Listen. The biggest thing here why it's Joel Embiid, because to me MVP stats are really cool, but it's really MVP. I feel it has to culminate the season. This has to be the guy that you put your stamp on this season, and that he'll forever be known. And if you're looking at this season in retrospect, the biggest story the whole season was the 76ers. Ben Simmons. What does Ben Simmons want to do? Oh, now we're trading Ben Simmons. Oh, can Harden and Joel Embiid. While all this was going on, Joel Embiid was never not Joel Embiid. Was there ever a stretch of games where Joel came in, only scored like 8? Maybe 2. No,
I agree.
he played.
I'm not arguing with you. He's the MVP
phenomenally. Yeah. So I think when you're talking the MVP, I think looking back at this year was the numbers wise, sure. Jokic, if he got it last year, numbers wise, sure. I guess give it to him this year. But MVP is more than just the numbers.
Not here.
That's what.
Not here.
I mean, did they have the scoring champion for the reason? Why not just call that the MVP?
Because as a scoring champion, he dominated another. Assist doesn't account towards scoring. Rebounds don't count towards scoring. Only points do.
I know, but if we're just worrying about the stats, the only real stat that matters is scoring, right? It only cares about who has the most points at the end of the game. So why not make the scoring champion the MVP then? Because if they didn't score as much, you probably would have won more games.
And then the day we're both on the same page. I don't agree with it neither.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a mess. I think. I mean, we both talked about Joel Embiid. Guys like, John Morant won most improved. He really deserves to be in the conversation for MVP. Steph Curry played great. Giannis. This is Giannis's league. Honestly, he probably, granted, he no Chris Middleton. No Chris Middleton.
No, yeah, it's rough. At the end of the day, LeBron lost players all the time. He still finds his way to the finals. You're going to crown yourself the next king. You got to be the next king.
Listen, Giannis is. He's been crowned. It's been his league.
I think the crown is still up for grabs.
Sure.
I think it's still up for grabs, bro.
Sure. Maybe. If Steph Curry wins, if the Warriors win this, then I'll give it to Steph.
Let me put this in retrospective. LeBron James went to the finals. What was it, 9 times in a row? This is supposed to be quote unquote Giannis league, and he couldn't even do a back-to-back.
But you talk about how much the East was a lot worse.
But I don't care. That has nothing to do with it.
But also, okay, Zay. Listen,
this is supposed to be your
listen,
team.
Zay. Listen.
How many players does LeBron keep
listen,
from the
Zay.
finals?
Listen. Are you really going to compare that? Because I'm not talking to the right now. Now?
Hold on. LeBron didn't play no slop teams.
I understand that. But heavy. I'm talking about who owns the league right now, Zay. You can't go the past. Is the past.
I don't think it's up for grabs. Still think it's up for grabs.
Okay. But
it's up for grabs.
You can't
call yourself the king, get to one finals, and that's it. Come on.
Win to one finals, win 2-time MVP, back-to-back MVP, and defensive play. Like Giannis has the achievement. He doesn't have.
Listen, had a conversation about how the MVP.
I understand that. I understand that. I understand that.
Right.
But he has his accolades. While LeBron has been in the league so much longer, you don't think Giannis if Giannis is going to stay in as long as LeBron, he can't build up those accolades, Zay?
We're not talking about Giannis Giannis ain't been in the league 4 years, bro. He's been in the league a healthy bit of time now.
Not as long as LeBron, though.
But I'm saying, if you take LeBron's first 8 years and Giannis's first 8 years, you compare them, I think LeBron's been to the finals way more times. Think about it. Okay.
It's a completely different NBA, Zay. First off. Second off.
It's a way easier NBA. A younger LeBron, I feel, would have dominated way much better. They don't play no damn defense now. Teams out here scoring ridiculous points during games.
Listen, I think the thing that will always I don't know. This whole conversation, I don't like this conversation because I don't want to compare old LeBron to Giannis now because it's not the same.
Wait, why is it not the same? Why can we compare LeBron to Jordan, but we can't compare Giannis to LeBron?
But what are we talking about?
You want to put them in the same conversation, but you don't want to compare them.
No. What's the conversation, though, Zay? What is the conversation?
If you're telling me that
are we talking about the greatest of all time? Because Giannis isn't in there.
If you're
That's not what I'm
saying. League, he's dominating like LeBron. This is the new LeBron dominant player.
No, I'm not saying he's dominating like LeBron did. I'm saying he's dominating more than LeBron is now. That's what I'm saying.
LeBron, yeah, he's 39 years old.
So whose league is it now? Who's the king of the league now? Honestly,
it's up for grabs, bro.
I don't think
it's up for grabs.
I will. Okay, I'll
some nights it looks like KD. Some nights it looks like Tatum.
It's
some nights it looks like Luka. Some nights it looks like Steph. I think it's still up for grabs. I don't think we have a solid. We haven't had a solid outside of that Golden State Warriors team that went back to back. We haven't had solid anything. I think we've had a different winner every year.
Listen, okay, so you're gonna hold LeBron in high regard because he was able to do that, but you have all these great guys who are competing for the king, and isn't that just better competition than LeBron faced? How many people were?
Are you out of your mind?
Listen, no, but how many people? How many people when LeBron was doing this? Who was the king of the league? It was either LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan.
Let me tell you. When LeBron became as dominant as LeBron did in 2010, there was nobody else. After 2010, there was nobody else for a while.
Then why?
For a while, there was nobody. Like after he went to the Heat, there was nobody else for a while, bro. Stop it. But don't even have this conversation. Let's not even have.
There was no one else for a while. Not Kawhi Leonard. Who beat him? Dirk.
Kawhi Leonard had one run. What has he done since?
He had one run, then he got hurt on his second run, and then went to the
outside of his Spurs because I'm talking about what has he done solo? What has he done outside of that one run? We're talking about LeBron.
We're talking about LeBron at the time.
Franchises to the finals now, bro. Again, we have players like DeMar DeRozan who hasn't seen the finals because LeBron has kept them.
They aren't in the same conversation. DeMar DeRozan and LeBron. You're putting
LeBron ruined careers. Alvin Gentry had the best. He was coach of the year and got fired because LeBron, bro. LeBron, I don't think you understand the level of. I gotta watch this game because I'm over here giving this guy, dude. I'm the only fans treatment, so I gotta get on.
No, all right. Hold on, before you go. No, just never mind. I think
the league is up for grabs. I don't think there's anybody right now who's.
Then who's your front runner? Who is your front runner?
I don't know. Like I said, some nights
it looks like the king?
Some nights it looks like Tatum. Some nights it looks like Steph. I don't know. Some nights it looks like Luka. I don't know, bro.
But most of the nights it's Giannis.
Shit, some nights it was the last round. Some nights it looked like Ja. I was like, baby, Ja got running this mug. I don't know.
All right.
Sometimes it look like Booker. I don't know. Yeah, Booker will go off for 31 points in the first half and stuff like that. I don't know who's not, you know what I'm saying? It's hard right now. It's up for grabs. You have a lot of young, great talent in the league. It's really good. We haven't had this much spread out competition in a while. It's really good. We're seeing different teams now compete for championships. I mean, obviously the Celtics and the Heat are different, but I'm saying for Milwaukee to be back in there, for the Mavs to be this close, for the Suns to have been as close as they were the last few years, and to be in the finals last year, we're seeing way more. We know at one point it was like Celtics-Lakers. It was Heat. You know, the Heat were playing somebody. You know what I'm saying? We're finally starting to see, different teams get into the mix. So I think it's great for the league.
Yeah. Because the skill gap is closed.
See what happens. You get the Zion back on the Pelicans, and
maybe
other
we'll
teams
see.
start to get better.
All right. All right, well let's stop it here.
Right.
We got this. First quarter isn't over yet, so you can still catch most of the game. But let's go. That's gonna do it for myself, Big Jace, King Zay. Make sure you check out clovercrestmedia.com for a bunch of other great sports podcasts. And if sports isn't necessarily your thing, I don't know why you're listening to this, but you can also check out some great true crime podcasts, some political podcasts. But and also big shout out to Annie Mac Mortgage and Shamrock Home Inspections for sponsoring today's episode. And we'll see you next time.
Your boys got 1 point. They got 1 point.
How many rebounds?
The Heat as a team has 1 point. The score is 1-12.
Jesus.
Good pick.
I said the Celtics were going to win tonight.
Yeah, they play like that. They're not going to win the series. Yeah. 6 minutes into the first already.
Zay,
6 minutes into the first, you got 1 point.
Zay, I know. Did you not hear what I said?
It's 6 minutes and 45 seconds.
You know, listen, Zay, listen. They're just waiting for me. They turn on the show when they know I'm watching. That's why.
All right, run the credits.
All right, so let's go watch. So I can watch. So the Heat can start playing well. But, all right, that's gonna do it for myself, Big Jason, for King Zay. We'll catch you next time on the Posting Up Podcast. Take care, everyone.
Beast mode.
Westbrook down lane, blocked by Randall. Julius Randall with an excellent defensive play.
Joel battling in the paint, laying it up and in.
Gone time. Oh, wrap it up.
Thompson just the 2 points. Nifty dribbling. Oh, exploding to the rim.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.